Hey guys, Lisa Smith here from Integrative Wellness Center. Today I want to talk to you about a hot health topic. I want to talk to you about your gut health and having a balanced microbiome. Not only do I want to talk about the importance of that, but I want to talk about some key steps to making sure that you are having a healthy gut and a balanced microbiome. You know, occasionally we all suffer from some digestive troubles. We might have some constipation or some diarrhea. We may have bloating and gas and cramping. But for some of us, that is our normal. That has become our new normal. And when that happens, sometimes there's a diagnosis of IBS, sometimes GERD, sometimes something else, leaky gut syndrome. But it's important, and today we're going to find out possible, to bring balance back to that gut. And it will have such an effect on your health that it's key for you to get that in good shape. So today we're going to talk about all different things, but we're going to start out with there are lots of factors that come into play when it comes to our digestive health. Things like chronic stress and sleep, inadequate sleep, inflammation, imbalanced hormones. Even the exercise, the amount and the intensity that you do can play a role in your digestive health. And the most important piece of the puzzle is what you put in your mouth. That's going to have the biggest impact on your gut health. Your GI tract, it's the cornerstone of your well-being, physically, and believe it or not, mentally and emotionally too. In fact, your gut is sometimes referred to as your second brain. Have you heard that? Your second brain. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason is because serotonin, and that's the transmitter sometimes called your happy transmitter, that is made, it's estimated that 90% of your serotonin is made in your gut. I'm going to say that again. 90% of one of your neurotransmitters called the happy transmitter that keeps your feelings of well-being and happiness going is made in your gut. So you can see that if your gut is not doing well, the likelihood is that you're not doing as well as you could be emotionally as well. So it has so many different impacts on our health, the well-being of our gut. To run smoothly, your gut needs to have at least three key players in place. More than that, but today we're going to hit on three of those. And the three we're going to talk about are probiotics, prebiotics, and digestive enzymes. They can be easy to confuse, so we're going to break it down and make it easy to remember. And that way, going forward, you'll know the difference between the three of those. Now, when we refer to your microbiome, particularly I'm talking about the microbiome of your gut, that refers to the good bacteria and the bad bacteria in your gut and the balance between the two of those. So if you can picture in your gut, there would be two armies going on. You'd have the good guys and the bad guys. That's your microbiome in a really simple way of looking at it. And you want the good guys to outnumber the bad guys and keep them in check. So let's talk about probiotics. Biotic means bacteria. That's why it's related to your microbiome. Probiotic means good bacteria. So probiotics are the good guys, right? And we're going to talk a little bit more about how to make sure you're getting the right balance of good guys in there. But we're going to move on to prebiotics. Prebiotics are the foods that feed your good guys. So prebiotics feed probiotics. Just think if you planted a beautiful garden filled with wonderful flowers and you got it all in there and you absolutely loved it and you loved looking at it. But what if you never fertilized that garden? What if you never fed it or watered it? What would happen to those beautiful plants? They would die off, right? And what would come in to replace it? The weeds, right? So you can see your gut can be like that garden, the good guys and the bad guys. What you feed will grow. You want to feed your good guys. So that's the prebiotics feed the probiotics. It's like a tongue twister. Okay, so now that we've got down probiotics are the good guys, prebiotics feed the good guys, let's get into digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes are what break down our food that we eat into nutrients and into smaller compounds that our body uses as fuel. And we're going to go into that in a little more detail in just a couple minutes. But those are the three key players that we're talking about today, that when you have those in the proper amounts in your digestive tract, that your overall health will improve dramatically. What kind of improvements, you say? What is that improvement we're looking for? Well, your bloating and your bloating and gas will decrease and even can be eliminated. Your immunity will improve because greater than 70% of your immune system comes from your gut, works out of your gut. You will break down and absorb more of your food so that you are getting more of your nutrition. And if you're getting more of your nutrition, that's your fuel. That means your energy will get a boost as well. So let's get into these gut helpers and find out how they'll bring about these benefits for you. And after that, we'll talk about some simple food and supplement options if you feel that you need to boost those any. Now, just a little disclaimer, if you are looking to add any supplements into your diet, please check with your doc first and make sure that those are a good fit for you. So, moving on, your body produces digestive enzymes. Let's start with enzymes now. Your body produces them, and it produces them to break down your proteins and your fats and your carbohydrates that you eat. As we get older, we produce fewer and fewer digestive enzymes. So in our 40s, we make less enzymes than we did in our 30s. And of course, in our 50s, we make less than we did in our 40s. And it goes on and on until we're in our elder years where we're not making nearly enough enzymes to break down our food. Additional issues like gallbladder issues or removal, pancreatic issues, leaky gut syndrome, and others, food sensitivities, they can all have an impact on the amount of digestive enzymes we make. So without the right amount of enzymes to break down our foods, we end up with those symptoms we were talking about earlier, especially things like bloating and discomfort and bowel irregularity. But once you add digestive enzymes into your diet, either through supplements, or you can even look to increase your bitter foods like bitter greens. You could take bitter tonic, digestive bitters. Those will help stimulate more enzyme production. But if you choose to supplement them, you'll know they're working if you start to see some of those digestive issues clear up. If you see the bloating go down, you don't feel like you're 5 months pregnant after dinner. If your bowel irregularity starts to clear up and become more regular. So that's how you'll know when they're working. If you want to start with supplements, people usually start out taking one digestive enzyme with every meal. Then within a couple of months, they can back it off to maybe one per day because their body is getting the direction to start making more enzymes again. So it's very helpful, and you can back them off as you start to see after some of those symptoms have been gone for a while. The really nice thing about digestive enzymes is you can wean them down or up depending on how you're doing, how your symptoms are doing, and you'll know whether they're helping you or not. So that's the enzymes. Now let's move on to probiotics. Remember those, the good guys? Probiotics, they do a bunch of things for you. Not only do they help keep the bad bacteria in check because they're the good guys, they also help with your digestion. They help to keep your immune system strong, which going into cold and flu season, we all want our immune system to be strong. They prevent UTIs and yeast infections. And in addition to that, they also play a key role in keeping our emotions balanced. Back to those neurotransmitters I was talking about a few minutes ago. Being a dietitian, I like to get nutrition from foods first before supplements. So I'm going to focus on some great foods that you can get your probiotics from. Foods that are like cultured foods, like sauerkraut. Now you want the kind in the refrigerated section, not in the can. So sauerkraut, kimchi. Kimchi is like a Korean sauerkraut that can be a little spicy, but I think it's delicious. Some other things, yogurt and kefir. Those are fantastic sources of probiotics, but keep in mind, you want the unsweetened kinds of those, because the sweetened kinds, they can have, if you look at the sugar content, they can have almost as much as a can of soda in terms of sugar. You don't want that. That's not going to help you any. And please avoid the artificially sweetened kind, because they will not do any favors to balance your microbiome. They will work in the opposite direction. So get the plain, whether it's Greek or not Greek, get the plain unsweetened yogurt or kefir. You can always add your own local honey. You can add some real maple syrup, some stevia, and some fruit, some berries, some pineapple, and sweeten them that way. So those are some great foods to get some of your probiotics from. A couple I left out so far are organic soy products that have been cultured, like organic miso and organic tempeh. So those are some great ways to get your probiotics through foods. Now, if you'd still like to supplement, at the very end, which is just in a few more minutes, I'm going to give you some recommendations for probiotics I like. Now let's get on to the prebiotics. When it comes to prebiotics, you certainly can buy a supplement, but there are great foods to get your prebiotics from. So let's go to the foods first, because I just think that's the great way to get it. So you can get so many more phytonutrients and other good nutrition from foods. So let's talk about the foods that are highest in prebiotic fiber. The first one is chicory. Chicory is something that is in some coffee substitutes. Roasted chicory kind of tastes like a coffee, but it's decaffeinated. That's the best source of prebiotic fiber, believe it or not. A brand I like of a coffee substitute that has chicory in it is called Dandy Blend. That's a nice way to get some chicory if you're looking to add that to your diet. On the lines of dandelion greens are another great way for you to get prebiotic fiber. So if you're like me, I have lots of them growing in my backyard, but I also have 2 dogs, so I'm not going to use mine. I don't trust that I'll get those clean enough. So when I get dandelion greens, and I do sometimes get them because I love them, they're so good in a salad, and they're great for your liver in addition to being a prebiotic food. I get them just in the specialty produce section at my grocery store. So dandelion greens, some other good sources of prebiotic fiber, easy ones to get into your diet: raw garlic, raw onion, raw leeks, cooked onion as well. Some other really easy ways to get it: apples, bananas, raw asparagus, jicama, and Jerusalem artichoke, as well as flax seeds, oats, barley, and wheat bran. So there are some foods you can get your prebiotics from. And remember, prebiotics are what feed the good guys, the probiotics. The guideline for the daily amount of prebiotic fiber that you want to get is 5 grams per day. That's pretty easy to get. If you had a cup of dandelion greens, you threw that into your salad, maybe at dinner time, and you had a banana, you would get your 5 grams of prebiotic fiber in. So that's a way to get it through your diet. And that summarizes what I wanted to touch on mostly today about digestive enzymes, probiotics, and prebiotics. If you get those in the proper amounts in your gut will love you. And when your gut loves you, you are loving life because you are feeling so much better. So love your gut and it will love you back. I hope you found this helpful today. As I promised, I'm going to give you some of my favorite brands of digestive enzymes and probiotics. So for digestive enzymes, I like this brand, Pure Encapsulations. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, Pure Encapsulations. It's Digestive Enzymes Ultra. That's one I really like. Again, starting with 1 per meal until you've gotten some balance in there, and then you can back it off to even 1 a day eventually. Another great digestive enzyme is Nature's Sunshine Proactazyme. I really like that one too. Now, if you prefer a chewable, there's a brand called Garden of Life Organic Digestion Plus. That's a chewable enzyme if you wanted to try that or check that out. Now for probiotics, there are a couple brands I like. Remember that you want to get probiotics with a special coating called enteric coating. And what that does for you, the benefit to enteric coating, is it coats that probiotic so that it survives your stomach acid and gets to your small intestine, which is where you want it to go because that's where it does you all the good. So you want an enteric coated probiotic. A couple of those are Gyrodophilis EPS, and another one, Garden of Life has one as well. And that one's called Garden of Life Primal Defense Probiotic. So those are a couple things to get you started. As I said, I hope this was helpful. And thank you for joining me. I'll be back soon to talk more about gut health and just natural health in general. Thank you. Bye-bye.